Hello, I'm Rochelle Green, the Photography and Digital Arts Program Coordinator here at Iowa Central Community College. We've all experienced a year like no other, and that's why we're especially thankful and proud to our passion-driven students and the work they've produced this semester. On behalf of the faculty and staff, thank you for your continued efforts and support that contributes to our vibrant arts community here at Iowa Central Community College.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for our Spring 2021 Iowa Central Community College Art Show. My name is Kara Wand, and I'm the Humanities Coordinator here at Iowa Central. Every semester, after our students have been working hard at honing their crafts, we hold an exhibition of their works. The works in this spring show come from a diverse range of artists with varying levels of experience. The works you see come from students who are in a range of Iowa Central's academic programs. It's a significant achievement to dedicate oneself to an art form, and we feel so lucky that we are able to join our students on their artistic journeys. We have divided the artworks into categories. There are 2 scholarships awarded for the award winners in each category, as well as an award for Best in Show. It is a difficult task to select these works, and we very much appreciate the time and expertise of our juror, Chelsea Hill. Spring 2021 marks our 3rd virtual version of our art show. While we wish we could be with you face-to-face to celebrate the achievements of all of our hardworking students, we hope that you will let the artists in your life know how much you appreciate their willingness to explore and express themselves in a visual way. Even when there's not a pandemic making everyday life complicated and exhausting, it takes a lot of courage and dedication to pursue creative work of any type. I would like to take a moment to give some thanks. Thank you first of all to our administration and staff here at Iowa Central for making this type of event possible. We especially appreciate the support of our deans and associate dean, Jennifer Condon, Neil Adams, and Justin Robertson, and the Liberal Arts Division Secretary, Jill Lichtig, for all of her assistance. We'd also like to thank Sean Chapman, the student who built the incredible website where these works are displayed. Jackie Hint and Rusty McNeil deserves many thanks for their assistance with the video elements of tonight's presentation, and we also greatly appreciate the assistance of Shelley Bodorf, our College and Community Fine Arts Director. And finally, we would like to thank you, the people who support our students. Thank you for supporting the arts and for supporting the creative endeavors of people you care about. It does mean so much. To all of our student artists out there, whether you're a photographer or a sculptor or a graphic designer, congratulations. I hope you feel great about this achievement, and I look forward to seeing where all of you go on your journeys, both with your art and in your lives. Thank you.
The picture that I chose this year was something different than what I've chosen in the past. I actually chose the black and white photo, Behind the Scenes for Dodge by Kayla Lampy. I can't exactly tell you what drew me to this picture, but I went back to it time and time again. And as I looked at it and studied it, I realized it was the fine details of that picture that really drew to me. My first look past the picture made me a little lonely, like wow, look how dark and lonely this alley is. My second glimpse, I really started to look at it and see the detail and really realize what a fabulous picture that was and what a good representation of this past year has been. Unfortunately, I relate a lot of things to COVID right now, and in that initial picture thought, wow, when you look at COVID from the outside and you think about all of the time that we spent in quarantine and isolation away from our friends and family. But then you look at it and you look at the fine details and you think, wow, all of those little intricate things, those are very similar to the relationships that we built and the experiences that we had because of the pandemic. Congratulations, Kayla. I thought your picture was phenomenal.
Congratulations, faculty and students, on successfully launching your 3rd virtual art show. Though I am grateful we get to share your work with your family and friends near and far, not to mention the world, I do miss the casual browsing and chatter in the Triton Gallery on the Fort Dodge campus. I miss the quiet when I went over to stroll through the pieces, circling and returning a 2nd and 3rd time to make my selection. It's the quiet message in this piece by Ty Williamson that speaks to my rural, small-town Iowa roots, to the pandemic of online and city services that quiet our small-town streets to the point of boarded-up windows and crumbling bricks. However, I know local is essential, and I know we must consider how our choices impact our neighborhoods, both rural and urban. Appreciate the quiet around you before it becomes silence. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Shelley Bodorf, and I'm the Executive Director of the Fort Dodge Fine Arts Association, as well as the College and Community Fine Arts Director at Iowa Central Community College. It's my pleasure to introduce to you tonight, originally from Nebraska, Chelsea Hill. She moved to New York City to pursue a career in musical theater. It was in this electric city where she found her true love, illustrating. Chelsea's humorous works are people-focused. They are often inspired by eccentric and glamorous New Yorkers, as well as legendary musicians and performers. When Chelsea isn't illustrating, she's growing her shoe collection and drinking fancy coffees. Chelsea is a proud member of the Wardrobe Union, IATSE Local 764, and has a blast dressing awesome singers at the Met Opera. You can find more information and artwork on her Illustrating Diva Facebook, Instagram, and website, or check out her new Baba Bougie boutique online, where you can find her original jewelry designs. Welcome, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Joining us this semester, we have the concurrent enrollment students from the Storm Lake High School. Concurrent enrollment, more commonly known as dual enrollment, refers to programs where students are enrolled in two schools simultaneously. Many dual enrollment programs involve high school students simultaneously taking college classes, most often at the local community college. We're fortunate to have students who are taking both photography and graphic design represented in this show. Chelsea selected the works of two students from Storm Lake High School who will receive a $200 scholarship to attend Iowa Central. For our photography award, we have this piece by Crosby Chontavasuk.
So I chose this piece because I love the storytelling that the student put into the work. Like the knife in the hand peeking out of the trunk. Because at first you don't catch it, and then when you do it, it gave me the best laugh. So I love that. And there's this texture part at the bottom right corner that I think gives a really cool effect, as well as the snow, kind of the off-kilter tie. So it tells a really interesting story, and it makes your mind think like what happened right before it. So that's why I chose this student.
For graphic design, we have this piece by Nasoli Cruz.
What I liked about this piece is that the student gave their process, which I think is fun for people who aren't graphic designers who don't understand what it's like to get a commission, to see that it's not something that's created right away. You go through, you try out different ideas. And I like that they listed why they thought this worked and why this didn't work. And I think that the end design was very successful. And that's why I chose the student for the graphic design award.
Okay, great. Now we will go into the Iowa Central students' work for spring 2021. The second place Fine Art Photography Award goes to
Second place for fine art goes to Landon.
So I chose this piece because I think it looks like a painting, and I think it's really beautiful. I love the green, it's so vibrant, and I think it's really well balanced. I love that the water has like this beautiful shine and like has different textures. So in the center, there's like a ripple effect. At the top, you can see the grass and the leaves underneath. Certain areas are blurrier than others. So I think it gives a really cool focal point. The texture of like the leaf stems, the wood, I think it's a beautiful piece, and I can see it being printed on like a metal canvas, which is why I gave the student this award.
and first place in Fine Art Photography.
Carly Edie.
I think this is so simple and so stunning. I love the stark black background, and it really enhances the cows and brings them, it kind of gives it a 3D effect. I love the texture around the face, the eyes, the nostrils. It's gritty, but it's really beautiful. The fur at the top is kind of has orange, so I don't know if that's like lighting or like the color of the cow, and it really complements the cow tag, the orange, really well. I think it's beautiful, and that's why I awarded this piece first for fine art photography.
Awesome. Okay, our second place in commercial photography goes to
Lynn Nguyen.
So I liked the backlight, the purple. I thought it was really fun and like hip and fresh, on top of like the green. that like washes over the subject. I like the styling of the outfits. I think it looks like this person could be like a musician in a band. Like this could be a promotional photograph for like concerts coming up or for like social media. I think it's interesting and it makes me want to know more about like what's going on. Kind of looks like he's about to play drums, which is why I chose this photo.
It does. It looks like he edited the drum set right out.
Mhm.
Okay. And the first place for commercial photography goes to
Sierra Keenan.
Now I think this girl in the photo looks so cool. I could see this being like a photo used for like a clothing campaign, like on a clothing website as a cover photo. I think it's styled really nicely. I love the different like hues of the purple, the lighter on one side, the dark on the other, but then like the contrasting with how the light hits the face. I think it's really well balanced. I like the texture. You see the hair kind of falling out from behind the hoodie. I like the nose rings. I think her expression's really interesting. She looks cool. And that's why I chose this photo.
excellent. Okay, now on to design. For second place, the award goes to
Brandon Carlson.
I think this is such a good use of black and white. It's interesting. You're playing with shapes and textures. I think it's well balanced. I think each piece has a kind of a counterpart, but it's different. So it has nice movement. I could see this like on a scarf. I could see this like a textile print that is made into clothes. I could see it hung on a wall. Yeah, I think it has a sophistication to it, which is why I chose this piece.
I kind of want it as a kitchen backsplash.
Oh yeah, like tiles.
Yeah.
You can totally see that.
Okay. And then first place in design goes to
So Maury Dobson for The Silent Cry.
I think this is really cool. Obviously the 3D effect looks kind of like an accordion. It looks like there are envelopes in between. I like the kind of the splatter paint polka dot texture. I like the use of color. I like that it's like photographed on an angle. It has like the 2D design going for it. It has a 3D design going for it. The shadow play is really interesting, which is why I chose this piece.
Okay. And now to the drawing category. Second place goes to
Kirsten Windle for Outside the Boxes.
I think the proportions on this are really good. I think how the boxes are kind of twisted is really interesting. And I think the student really executed this well. I like the shadowing, kind of the layering. I think it's really interesting. Like kind of the line work. Like my eyes kind of travel this way and then they like go to the bottom. There's like lots of little details that you pick up when you just like look at it. So I like the fact that you see more the longer you look at it, which is why I chose this piece.
And then first place in drawing goes to
Heather Almond for Out of Sorts.
I love that this tells a story. I love that there's depth to it, that it's in a space. It looks like, I don't know if it's her room or someone's room. It makes me wonder, like, where is this figure? The heads are really interesting that they turn, so there's like movement to it. So I can visualize it being animated. The line work is really good. The use of black and white, the shadows and like the light. It's very detailed. My eye kind of hits, I see different things wherever I look, like the lines of the floor move up towards the person. I think it's really well balanced. And that's why I chose this piece.
Yeah, I've been following Heather's work since she was a high school student. She's super talented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then second place for graphic arts.
Lauren Swan, An Ordinary.
This piece made me smile. I mean, obviously, like the New York scenescape. So, I mean, as a New Yorker, I appreciate that. And then the fish. I love the scale of the fish to the city. It kind of reminds me of like a fish Godzilla. I like the detail of the fin poking through. It has like a nice collage layered effect. So like the coral at the bottom and then behind the city, there's like a little bit of coral peeking through. I like that the light comes down and kind of highlights it. I think it's really well balanced. The turtle peeking out behind the seaweed or that plastic, whatever, like the fish city is really interesting. I could see this in a fishbowl. I think that'd be really funny. I think the scaling's really good, and I think it tells a story, and it made me smile. So that's why I chose this piece.
Great. And first place for graphic arts.
Tiante Bailey, Imperfect Dream.
I think this is so beautiful. I think the layering is done really well. At first, I didn't realize that there was text behind her. So like the longer I looked at it, I noticed that, which I love. Like, I think that's so cool because it really blended well into it. But then when you see it, like I just appreciate that type of like level attention to detail. It reminds me of like kind of a 3D effect. So when you take off the 3D glasses, like at a movie theater, like that's what you would see on screen. I think that's beautiful. The colors are really good. I like that it's muted, so you really like see the reds and the blues. Her pose is really good. The expression, even though it's blurred, is very strong. It's very beautiful. And like the clip that wraps around her face, like it kind of brings my attention back to like the center of this person. I think it's just a really strong piece, which is why I chose it.
And then, drum roll, the Best of Show award goes to
Ty Williamson, The Blackface.
I think this is the coolest piece. The use of color is awesome. They blend really well together. The contrast with like the face. I love that like the more centered profile is in the center, and kind of the different expressions are really interesting. I love that I can see the color poking through the hair. It has texture to it. It's vibrant, kind of the vignette around the colored squares, kind of give it like a nice, it makes the center focal points pop. I think it's really well balanced. I think it's interesting. I think it falls under like fine art, photography design, or like commercial. Like I can see it doing well in both those worlds. Yeah, I love this. I think it's so cool, which is why I chose it for Best of Show.
And then any closing remarks, Chelsea, that you might have for the students, or we appreciate you spending your time with us.
Yes, I loved judging and seeing all your beautiful works. I think every student had a very interesting like point of view, and it was all so different, and it was actually really hard to choose. I think, you know, as artists, we bring our unique voice to things, and that's what makes it special and connects us to people. I loved seeing like the fields of the Midwest. And it made me smile. Like there was one photograph like of an old abandoned bus or like tractors, and it brought me back home. So it was very lovely to see like all the works. And I think a lot of you have like such like great talent, and like keep developing it and keep doing it. And you know, you never know where life leads you. And I really enjoyed being part of this. So thank you very much for including me.